Good afternoon. It is September 11th, 2017, 16 years since the attack. World Trade Centers, Pentagon. Am I a conspiracy theorist individual? No, but I do fall into the camp of I think pretty much anything is possible. I watch enough Ancient Aliens to believe that anything is possible. Hey, I'm Stacy Petty, politicalcarrion.com. I am doing my vlogs. Vlog me, Stacy, vlog me. And as always, when I record these videos, I bring some liquid courage, I guess you could say, with me. Tonight's alcohol. Because I'm 51% Irish, I have gone ahead and absorbed that part of my ethnicity, and I try and stick with whiskey as much as I can. This one that I'm drinking this evening, and I will be lit pretty quick here because I just had probably almost 3 ounces, but I'm Irish, so I handle it well. There's a doggy coming in. This would be Daisy, because I hear her call her. She might be joining me. So this is Deerhammer. I bought this because I saw someone jokingly call it on a thread on Facebook, a Deerhammer, and I'm always a 12-year-old boy at heart at the end of the day. So this is I'm a Colorado native. And Daisy, do you want to come and sit up here? Come here. She's probably wanting to eat, so I'll try and make this quick. Deerhammer is a Colorado. I didn't bring my glasses. I'm going to steal my husband's glasses. I've said before, we've got the same thing going. It's out of Buena Vista. Hey, let's have a chat right quick about Buena Vista. You read it, you'd say the correct pronunciation would be Buena Vista. Buena Vista. Buena Vista. I figure a bunch of white people, rednecks, said Buena Vista. That's my guess. So this is out of Buena Vista. American single malt whiskey. And this one falls in my top 10 of the whiskeys that I think I like. And it has the notes that come in afterwards, and I ended up looking at the bottle to see what it said. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Coffee, cacao, caramel, and spices. I got a lot of sweetness in there, and again, Deerhammer out of Buena Vista, Colorado. And as always, we say slancha. So this takes me beyond the other word I already had before. It's interesting. Honestly, it falls into I gotta go close that. Too much of a glare. I still didn't get it. That's okay. So, I am very much relieved here on this day. I got myself worked up so much that I was physically ill, and I just felt it in my stomach and my head, and over Hurricane Irma. I have a good friend, Tammy Hansen. She lives in Northport, Florida, and her and her husband Ben had to endure Hurricane Irma. And I was sitting and watching weather nonstop. I didn't get a lot done because I was so focused on what was happening with that hurricane. Watching what it did to all of those islands in the Caribbean. I kind of, and I've been around a while. I'll be turning 49 pretty quick here. I had set in my mind, oh my God, Florida's going to disappear. It's going to disappear. It's just going to be flattened, like those islands. And I know that when a hurricane hits mainland, like, a landmass like Florida, it starts to go. But I've known Tammy for quite some time. And it's one of those things when you sit and you think about how long you've known someone, you go, oh, wait a minute. That's been a long time that we've known each other. Not too long, but it kind of really resonates how old you are and how long this person has been in your life. And I've used her for the websites that I have over the year. I used her for this website here, Political Carrion. Politicalcarrion.com is where you can find me, and you'll be able to find this video later on. And so I was just beside myself worrying about Tammy and her husband Ben and their daughter Lindsay that's home with them. And I just paced around. I didn't get anything done. And I'm telling my husband, I'm worried. I'm worried about Tammy. I'm worried about her. And I sat down several times to message her and wanted to do that. I love you, man. I love you. Because when you're in those situations, those are the kind of emotions that are provoked. They survived just fine there in Northport. It looks like Naples actually might have taken the worst of it as far as Florida goes. And It wasn't Harvey. The reason why Harvey was so bad is because Harvey had a shitload of moisture in it. I read something recently that said the amount of rain that was dumped in Houston was pretty much the quantity of what Chesapeake Bay is. That is substantial. I have a good friend. I adore you, Bruce, if you're watching this. Bruce and I, it's funny because Bruce is, I don't want to say Bruce has been around a while. Bruce has been around a while. He's an older gentleman. He's been very involved in politics for a long time. He's been in the medical industry. He's a doctor. He's worked on different sides of it. I very much respect Bruce's opinion, but he and I vehemently disagree on climate change. And he told me one time, he said, Stacy, for two people that are right all the time, you'd think we agree more. And it was, very much, in fun and games, and I appreciate that. And Bruce gave me a book when we lunched one time on Thomas Jefferson, because I'm a huge fan of Thomas Jefferson. I hated the book, but I love Bruce, and I told myself the whole time, I'm going to finish this for him. Bruce gave this to me. It was a beautiful gift that he gave me, and so I'm going to finish this book. And it was one of those ones, like, I just wanted to toss it and go, blah, when I was done. So I made some notes here. We'll see if I make it through it. Come here, Daisy. You want to come up here and help me? Daisy's going to help here with the video. This is what she does, right, Daisy? This is my beautiful rescue dog, Daisy. She's my new baby, our new baby. And she used to join me when I was doing the radio shows a lot. As I said, when I was on KFKA, I would do the show from right here quite often. We had an arrangement where I would do the show from home a few days a week, and I'd go up to the studio in Greeley a few days a week. And Daisy joined me in here many times for those radio shows, and you never knew, because we tried to cover them very well. So, as I say, I am not a believer in man-made climate change. Do I believe in climate change? Yes, I do. Climate is cyclical. If you look at any case studies from legitimate scientists, I'm not talking about, what do you think, Daisy? What do you think? She's from Mexico. It's always hot in Mexico, right? Right. If you look at any significant studies, long-term studies from scientists, from geologists, they, if we're going to trust scientists to, reveal to us the existence of dinosaurs and what happened, then we need to also trust those same scientists and what they have found in geography, the geological history of our planet. And those types of climate changes have always occurred. I tend to think that the Earth, we call her Mother Earth, right? So that means she's hormonal, and she goes up, and she goes down, and she goes up, she goes down. I just think that this is the natural nature. And speaking specifically of the medieval warm heat climate that they had that caused all of the deaths. I know there are quite a few theories as to that. But, we didn't have the industrial activity that we have right now. We weren't producing carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide at mass levels during that period of time, but yet that heating still occurred. And that is the cause. I had read something at one point in time. Am I anybody that has any kind of merit? No, you know what? I'm just like you here. That's all I am, is I'm you. I had read at some point that the Black Plague was actually caused by, during this medieval heating period, rats who had always fed upon the fields and what was growing naturally were forced to, for survival, run into the cities to find their sustenance. And, they carried diseases with them. Daisy has no diseases other than the fleas that she's picked up at the vet past few times, which we worry about, don't we, Daisy? That's what caused the Black Plague, with these rats coming into the city because of the heat cycle. Now, you can go and look at, there's all kinds of studies everywhere, say, here in my semi-arid, beautiful Colorado, hey, that was once a rainforest. Well, why was it once a rainforest? Why isn't it a rainforest right now? Okay, why? Because climate change is cyclical. I remember being a young girl and the paranoia over the impending ice age. Oh my God, the ice age is coming, and it was a big concern for a lot of people. And I really don't want to diminish. I strongly believe in respecting the opinions of others, regardless of what I do and don't agree with them on. Their opinions are just as relevant, just as passionate as my own. And so I love this back and forth debate that we have with each other. And I always try and be respectful, and I hope I always try and be respectful. But this whole idea behind the reason why, oh my God, Irma was category 5, and just we have to worry about fossil fuels, and we have to worry about, and I fall into, as I said, I'm not a denier. I just don't believe in man-made global warming. I think that this is a natural thing. I think I need more alcohol. I'm marking off my checklist here, right, Missy? We do. I don't believe I think man is hubris in his thinking that we make that big of an impact upon Mother Earth. All it takes is one catastrophic volcanic eruption to throw us into a nuclear winter, and we're all done. And you know what the Earth does? The Earth carries on, and it keeps on turning. And, as I've said on here doing these video casts, I love Ancient Aliens. It cracks me up because there's history, and bam, aliens. And I love it. It's so predictable, but I love it. But what it also has done is it's piqued my interest in thinking outside of my box, if you want to call it my Christian box. And one that I watched recently showed geologists were digging down, and they ran across some, I guess you want to call it technology, with some metals that existed at a point in the strata that it should not have. And so there was a theorist on there that was trying to promote the idea that all that we have here is actually been going on for millions of years. We build this population, aliens, drop us via DNA, whatever, onto this planet. We grow, we evolve, they get tired of us, they annihilate us, they send a meteor, nuclear winter, whatever, kills everything, and then it starts all over again. And I am wide-minded enough to know that anything is absolutely possible. And I love the idea of these theories that these people toss out there, because I like thinking and I like challenging myself. So going back here to this global warming thing, as I said, I personally believe it's cyclical. But at the same time, me as a Christian believes that I need to be a good steward of everything, every gift that has been given to me. I look at my life, I look at Daisy Dog, and I say, she's a gift. I'm going to do what I can to take care of her. I want to take care of my land. I kind of freak out about my neighbor next door who, I'm not going to go there all the way. I'll just drop some tidbits here. For a very long time, he plowed. We're all on 2.5 acre lots here. He plowed his weeds under, and now he has resorted to using herbicide as opposed to plowing under, because he's eroded his land so bad. It's all on my land. If you want it back, you can come over here and get it from me, because wind blows out of the north. It's on my land. My piece of parcel actually sits higher than his, because it's all blown over here over the past 22 years. I have a big problem with him using the herbicide over there, I think. And I always tell my husband, like, oh, he's over there poisoning us again. So I am a steward of this planet. I am waiting for a nasty note from my recycling man to tell me, Stacy, you're overdoing it. You would not believe what I throw into recycling. I try and tell myself, well, it just makes his trip down my street worth it when he hits my house. Guess what I have going out on Wednesday? It's a lot. And I feel good about it. And I know the competing thoughts about, well, you're actually not doing anything with recycling because you have to worry about transport and, the processing. And at the end of the day, you actually don't, you know what? It makes me feel better. It gives me the warm fuzzies. And I'm fine with getting the warm fuzzies from recycling. And I try and be responsible in everything. I did not take my kids to fast food restaurants when I was raising them for 2 reasons. One, I knew it was nutritionally inefficient. And 2, I hated, even before it was like cool. So I'm way ahead of the curve on a lot of you guys here. I hated the waste involved in fast food serving, preparation, and like when I would take my kids to the grocery store, they always wanted those Lunchables. And you can ask any of them now and they'll tell you, Mom wouldn't buy us Lunchables because she said it was a waste of packaging. This is 20 years ago, before it was in vogue to be worried about the environment. This is something that I've thought about. I've ran across a lot of farmers and ranchers over the years that know the health of them, of their economic place, their economic future. is based upon them taking care of the land. And that is exactly what they do. And it's to think that this is anything that's new. It's not. It's been around. And maybe I was born in the wrong time, because I would have been a great 60s hippie, a big anti-war hippie on a lot of things. But I'm happy that people are paying attention, but I don't necessarily believe in excessive regulation, because I think people in general, for the most part, I like to assume the best about someone before they give me a reason not to. People, for the most part, want to do the right thing. You are always going to find someone who doesn't want to do the right thing because they're cutting corners, they're going to screw people, they're going to damage the environment. This is a reason why I am a big supporter and proponent of tort law. There are a lot of countries around this world that utilize tort law. The United States does not. This is something that we need to do besides regulation. I'm going to pour me some more. You're just going to have to bear it. So my friend Bruce, that I love, that I was speaking about, and he was talking about, lack of regulations in Houston gave them the situation that they did. So the Houston mayor has vehemently disagreed with this theory, and he's offended that anyone would say that about him. Do they have lax regulations in Houston and compared to other places? It appears so. But Slate had a great article on it, and maybe I'll link it in this, what I'm doing here for Political Carrion. I'll link the Slate article, because I think it's pertinent to this discussion, especially coming from Slate. So the Houston mayor was pretty offended that anyone would think that a lack of regulations in his city would cause what they had. He basically said, you know what, it rained too much. There's no amount of regulations. And it's true. Chesapeake Bay, okay? Again, slancha. Really good stuff, Daisy. I have my list. I'm going to go through my list here. I'm working on it. Lack of regulations, right? So what I'm seeing from my libertarian, although I am currently registered unaffiliated standpoint, I see too many regulations as being the problem. Not that long ago, here in the state of Colorado, Otero County, in the southern part of the state, I'm getting sloshed if I slur my words or mess up this information, please forgive me. There is a movement in Otero County for people that want to live off the grid. They want to live naturally. They want to live like our pioneer ancestors did. There's nothing wrong with that. Otero County shut them down, said, well, you don't have proper waste disposal. You have an outhouse. We can't let you do that. You don't have. And there was enough pressure from outside and inside sources that Otero County just said, oh, wait a minute, hands off. So, I would like to see what I personally want to do. We're in the process, this house that surrounds me, we're in the process of getting it ready to sell. It's a long story. I know I have friends going, when are you moving? When are you moving? There's always some. There are a half dozen different hurdles to accomplish what we need to accomplish, and it has nothing to do with the house. We have some property up in the mountains in southern Colorado, 70 acres with a cabin. We're moving up there. And my husband and I have jokingly talked about, and I'm dead serious. He's joking. I'm serious. I would love an outhouse. To me, every time I look at a toilet and it flushes, I say, that's a waste of water. It's a waste of water. It's a waste of water. And when people are there's a big problem here in Colorado with a lot of people that are coming here and they're utilizing the trails, and oh my gosh, people are defecating here and there, and I'm going, isn't that what everybody used to do? Is everybody went outside? That's normal. So when I think about what I want my life to be here when we move, I'm hoping I can talk my husband into an outhouse. Now, do you think that I can get a permit for an outhouse up where I am? Probably not. It would have to be something that's done under the radar. Under the radar. Because when people don't agree with a law or a regulation, you know what? They go around it. That's why I believe in tort law. So there's that example, and that happens across the country. You hang on any kind of libertarian website, Reason, Free Beacon, etc. You will find several examples of this type of thinking where a municipality, a county, whatever, steps in and says, you can't do that, you can't do that. But yet it's exactly how our ancestors lived. And it's green efficient. I also ran across a story 2 years ago. I don't know, right, Daisy? She's a good girl. A woman that was trying to live a natural, kind of off the grid life with her daughter. And she set up a safe, a nice home that was, I don't want to call it a tree house, but it was something that was, and I mean, I saw the pictures of it. They had posted this in this article. CPS came in because she had a child living there and said, you can't live like this. We're going to take your daughter away because you don't have A, B, C, D, E, maybe F. This is a woman that's trying to be environmentally responsible. CPS is telling her she's not allowed to be environmentally responsible. Okay? Think about that. Recently here, semi-recently, as I jump around here, I'm already at 20 minutes. These things always end up being longer than they should be. My husband and I were watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony, the induction. I've got a love-hate thing for Pearl Jam. I have a love-hate thing for Eddie Vedder. I think he's brilliant. I don't necessarily like Pearl Jam's music, but I think that a lot of bands, a lot of movements serve as a turning point in musical history. They make a big impact, whether you like them or not. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles' music, but I love what they brought to the table, and it turned it and it took it to a new direction. So I'm listening to Eddie Vedder talk about, now if you don't know anything about him, go look him up. Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, sorry. And he's going off on climate change, green energy, environmentalism. I'm looking at this massive display here of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is lecturing me here in the state of Colorado about how I need to act and I need to worry. She's farting right now. God, Daisy, why do dogs fart when they're sitting on your lap? Anyway, and I'm looking at this huge gala event, right? And the thing that comes to mind is how much extra energy is being consumed at this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. How much extra water is being consumed at this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. How much jet fuel was utilized to transport all the attendees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. How much waste is there now? Extra, additional waste, in addition, to what is normal, above and beyond normal, because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. So when you sit there on that stage, when it's something that you could do, oh, hey, oh my God, look, I can sit in the office in my home in Brighton, Colorado, on my computer, and I can do this, and I cannot do anything other than utilize electricity. I've created no additional waste. My dog just makes some extra carbon dioxide here from her farting, but hey, whatever. And I am offended when you tell me that I don't care about the environment and that I'm not doing enough and we need additional regulations. When you're sitting there with a crowd of tens of thousands of people creating an additional burden upon the environment, lecturing me on environmentalism. I have a big problem with that. Al Gore, he's one of them. He likes to stand on his soapbox and lecture about environmentalism when he lives in like a 10,000 square foot home. How much is your electric bill every month, Al? That is a legitimate question. What is your electric bill? I do everything I can. I get up early in the morning, I open up my windows and doors, and I turn on fans because I'm trying to cool off my house so I don't utilize too much electricity. I'm not doing that because of money. I don't have a problem paying my electrical bill. I'm not financially strapped. I have an issue with how much electricity that I'm using and what I'm doing to the environment. And so when I said on my Facebook page, which I will stay with Facebook, and maybe I'll make it around to that, maybe I won't. When you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk, I will not take you seriously at any point in time. Al Gore on probably fucking private planes, because God forbid he flying coach with the rest of us normal people, right? I have a big problem with that. And so I had stated on Facebook, and this is something that I strongly believe is true. I've been in politics long enough, and I've been around on this planet long enough to understand three things are involved with most movements. And I'm speaking specific. Yes, Daisy, you're special. You're a special girl. I don't know. Yeah, we're those people. There are three things in any type of position that you are that people that do bad things seek to find: power, sex, and money. Now that has a lot to do with politics, but it also transfers to a lot of different industries or venues, if you want to call it that. And I had stated on Facebook, on my page, which most of my posts are public, like 90% of my posts are public, and that I personally believe that the climate change hysteria movement is about money, because there's crony corporatism that's involved, and you have to be very cautious about this. It happens on both sides. You see the left freaking out about, oh my God, gas and oil. You know what? I have a friend that worked in the green. I don't know if he's still doing it because I've lost touch with him. He developed green technologies, and he was sharing with me one day about how, hey, Stacy, at the end of the day, everybody's money is green, and that's all they want to do is make it. It's about capitalism. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it's about making money. Because he could sell them some type of bullshit technology that's supposed to be green and get money out of it, and they didn't care because it was categorized as green, no matter how inefficient it was. And so I had stated on my Facebook page that a lot of these climate change narratives, at the end of the day, are about trying to sell magazines, or, hey, maybe commercials on a news channel, and paying $10,000 a plate at a fundraiser for a politician who promises to promote green energy and ends up losing or something, or gets confused elsewhere. I think another thing that I see that really bothers me in this whole idea behind, I'll use the word stewardship again, because I like the word stewardship. I feel very strongly about that. And clean energy. And we have to be cautious about. Right now as it stands, fossil fuel, that's what's getting us through. I think that we're going to make it out of this one day, and we'll get into something that is more responsible and reliable and efficient. I think that's going to happen just with, we started with dial-up, and now look at us. I think this is something that's going to develop. I'm very happy to go there, and I think it's the responsible stewardship of the planet thing to do. But one of the things that bothers me, especially like here in the state of Colorado, so Colorado has some of the most stringent oil and gas regulations in the entire nation. Are there things that happen? Yes, there are things that happen. There was something that happened not that long ago, not too far up the road from me, with, yes, Daisy, you are a special girl. This is why we have to save the planet, is for these daisies. Yes, I will pitch you. Not that far up the road from me, with a natural gas well that exploded. It was horribly tragic. And something that bothers me is the movement here locally, not locally, nationally. I've been drinking. What do you expect? Remember, Deerhammer. It's out of Buena Vista, Colorado, because I like to promote Colorado booze. And I'm not an alcoholic. I just am a big fan. The thinking about, oh my God, we're going to endanger our. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to back up here. So, I know someone that is I'm not going to say which city council member. They've had some big problems lately with a movement to end fracking in their municipality, and it's been back and forth, and I get it and I understand. This is where I have a problem with that. We need fossil fuels right now. It's how we get to work, it's how we get to the bank, it's how we get to the grocery store, it's how we do absolutely everything. And we need to understand that as part of what our reality is at this point in time. I'm fine with that. What I have a problem with is the individuals who feel like their children, their lands, are more important than others. There is a legitimate concern to saying, you know what? There's a fracking operation a quarter mile away from my home, my kids' school. I'm uncomfortable with that. Where do you think that oil is going to come from? Now, when the Exxon Valdez tragedy occurred, it was significant. What it told me years ago, maybe I'm ahead in my thinking. I'm going through this here almost 30. Okay, now we're at 30 minutes. Going through something, and maybe I was thinking ahead. The first thing that came to mind in the Exxon Valdez accident was, why the fuck are we importing our oil from another country? It seems to me that it is a risk to transport it in that way. Look what happened. Now, granted, this is an exception to the general. You know, I talk about generalities and exceptions all the time. Maybe I haven't here, but I do it in other places. In general, that oil is transported just fine. But hey, if we're going to worry about that one-time event, shouldn't we worry about that one-time event when it spills into the ocean and it threatens the wildlife, the flora, the fauna that exist in those places? And, you know, you look at pictures, videos of oil extraction in other parts of the world. I see an incredible amount of hubris in saying, my American kid is more important than your Saudi Arabian kid. How horrific is that? That you can sit there in your home and talk about how not in my backyard, but you're willing to put at risk kids, employees, mind you, that are not working under the stringent standards here in the United States about oil and gas extraction. Thank you very much. And pass that risk on to someone else. Are you seriously that much better than them just because you're an American and they're not? That is something that deeply troubles me. And as a Christian, I really do try and think globally as opposed to, you know, American cult Christianity. And literally, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus be pleased with me if I said, my American child is more important than the child in Saudi Arabia? To me, that doesn't seem very right, to pass that risk on to someone else. It has long bothered me. I'm glad I finally got it off my chest here on this video, and I'm running at 32 and a half minutes, and so I probably should wrap it up. But that's just something that I would hope maybe you walk away from this drunken politicalcarrion.com vlog me, Stacy, vlog me, with Daisy's oh so vigilant attention. That maybe you need to, you know, you talk about thinking globally. There's a global thought. My children are not more important than someone's children in Saudi Arabia. They love them just as much. And those women of the workers in Saudi Arabia love their husbands the way that I love my husband here, the way that you love your husband here. And you need to take that into consideration. You want to talk about responsible energy? I think that we need to develop that energy at home, and it needs to be a local risk as opposed to an international risk, because that's wrong. That is morally wrong to put someone else at risk because it makes you more comfortable in your home at the end of the day. I guess I should probably stop talking. I guess the one more thing that I would like to add in here to this is to make sure you bear in mind that any type of media outlet likes to run with sensationalism because it sells advertising. At the end of the day, it sells advertising, and it's about money. Remember, power, money, sex. Those are always the three that are in control. And if you think about the media frenzy over, like, oh God, swine flu, bird flu, hantavirus. I recently had a conversation with someone over hantavirus. Because why? It makes people tune in. When you throw that teaser out there right before the break, there's commercials that follow. And they sell those commercials. And it's about money. Follow the fucking money. Daisy says, follow the money. Thank you for watching. 35 minutes ish. Right, Missy? I know, we love you. And last time, let it focus. Deerhammer out of Buena Vista, Colorado. And I like promoting Colorado booze because I am a Colorado native. No, I don't get paid for these. I should get paid for these. You all have a glorious evening. And as we remember the victims of 9/11, well, hey, there's my next video. I could just keep on talking about, you know, Islamophobia. Hey, do you want to take me there? But I appreciate all of you that watch these, and I hope it grows because this is a nice outlet for me. And sayonara.